mute their mics, please? Because it's not allowing me to mute everyone's. Oh, let me see. No, it's not allowing me. Sorry about that, folks. So if you could mute yourself. What we're going to do tonight, and I'll speed up my speaking, is we're going to show you how to grow your team on Facebook, whether it's people you know, which is your warm market, or whether it's total strangers. Now, I know that most of you will already have done some of this, successfully or not, but you can always learn, because I know I do too. So let's start off with the people we know, the warm market. Sometimes the most difficult thing is to approach those people, but there's 4 ways we can do it. Personal message has always got to be your first port of call. That's the most effective one, so always use your effective ones first. Your Facebook status updates are good if you've already personal messaged them, or if there's perhaps people on your page that you've acquired without knowing how you acquired them, or how they've joined and become friends with you. But that's always the second way. Your group posts, again, the third way, and lifestyle posts. This doesn't have to be something that is clever. I remember it wasn't online, it was via the phone. I remember one sunny morning, I was up in Glasgow, I was working, I was doing activity, I was going across, and if those of you who don't know Glasgow, look it up. I was going across the Squinty Bridge, which I really like. I've always liked the Squinty Bridge. I think it's in a lovely location. Sun was shining, it was warm. I was walking to the side that the BBC studios are on, and it's just, I just felt very much at peace with myself. And I remember putting a phone call up saying, I'm out, I'm working, the sun's shining, it's warm, I'm in a lovely place, I described it, and this is work. How lucky am I? So that can be a lifestyle post. No, it doesn't have to be about spending money or anything about money. Because remember, there are lots of people out there who are sitting in a place that they don't want to be, and really just want to know how they can change it. So use those things, and Facebook's so easy to do that nowadays. Lynn's got a shop here and a wee photograph, which I can't remember why, but never mind. So we do have a saying in the business, facts tell and stories sell, and they do. So your check is a good story. It's also a fact in this example, but nevertheless it's a story as well. And if you don't have your income check, make it your first goal. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, my income check, it's a wee bit far away, it's not got an up-to-date date on it. Then get a new one then and put a new date on it. Because it doesn't matter what the date is. And don't be afraid of the size of it. I remember seeing an income check for 800 quid. We wanted 2,000. And I saw 800 quid. And I saw the girl that had the 800 quid income check. That was far, far more believable than Lynn's £10,000 check. Far more believable. I really never quite... So use your small ones. And all you want to do is hit your bonus in your 4-week period. That's your story. But what do you say when you contact people? I was never too keen on the direct approach. I found it, my background, a bit inhibited. Nothing wrong with that, but if I'm like that, there's lots of people like that too. So what I did was I preferred to do the indirect approach. And it was always, hi Jean, how are you? How's the family? Haven't seen you for ages, and often it had been ages, so I really did have to have a catch up. And the reason for my email is I've just started up my own part-time work from home business, and it's going really well. Use your own words. In my first week, I earned just over £60. I was absolutely delighted, and I used roughly 9 hours that week to do that. Now I'm looking for people to join me, and I was wondering if you know anyone who would be interested in making some money from Facebook part-time. Now, I never said Facebook, I said catalogues part-time. Would you have a look at the short video? Tell me what you think. Do be aware, if someone comes back and says, what a load of mince, why are you getting involved? You have asked them what they think. When you joined your work, you didn't, if you said to somebody, I've just become a member of the bank, I'm going to be a branch manager, what do you think of that? I know I didn't always get the answer I wanted to hear. Not when I was 17 years old. They looked at me, they laughed, and they said, oh, aye. So do be aware, that might not be the response that you want, but you just have to take it, you've asked them. Can I give you a ring tomorrow to see if anyone springs to mind? Now, if you don't know the person, or you know the person really well, and it's your nature to be more direct than that, then be more direct, entirely up to you. But always start it off kind of friendly. Hi Jean, how are you and the family? Always remember, keep it nice. Would you do me a wee favour, take a look at this short video, tell me what you think. I'm looking for people to join my part-time work from home business. I'm really excited. I wondered if you might be interested. If that's your style, use it. And there'll be certain friends that you probably can use it with, and there'll be certain friends that you can't. Always remember though, you want to talk to them, or at least message them. Send a private message to everyone you know, and don't prejudge. Jim and I didn't have any children at home. Our children had left home. We had more disposable income than we'd ever had. We actually could, we had so much money going into our savings account on a monthly basis that we didn't quite know where it was all coming from. So would someone have thought Jane and Jim would be interested? Probably not. Plus the fact Jim worked 70 hours and I was working probably about 60. My mum was elderly. I spent a bit of time in the evening, most evenings, at the nursing home. She had recently gone into a care home, and our daughter lived down south, and we had had some personal things just a year before, so we visited our daughter probably every couple of weekends. So we weren't at home that often. So would someone have thought, oh, they're the ideal candidates, I'll get in touch with them, they've got plenty of time and they need the money? No. So don't prejudge. And you don't know who they know. But always follow up with a telephone call or a message within 24 hours, unless you've actually agreed to leave it a wee bit longer. Now keep it simple when you talk to people. Hello Jean, how are you? Did you manage to have a look at the video I sent to you? What did you think? If they come back and they show an interest, then try to arrange to speak to them. Or you can call, obviously you can call them through Messenger. You don't need to have their telephone number. And remember, don't focus on money, what it's going to cost. Find out what interests them. I don't mean hide it. I just don't mean that, you know, it might not, the £75 that we paid was neither here nor there. Yes, I wanted my money back. I wasn't in the business of giving some obscure company money that I wasn't going to get back. But it wasn't our driving force. the driving force with us was the £2,000 that we wanted to earn every month to get Jim out of his 12-hour shift job every day on a petrol tanker. That was what we wanted. So you have to learn and see what they're looking for. So, and you know more than they do. Even if you've only been in the business a week, you know more than they know. But take it easy. Don't blurt it all out. As we used to say, don't vomit all over them. You know, don't open it and let it all go. Because, well, you know, they'll only remember a small proportion of it, a very, very little. And let the person who introduced you to the business or the person you're working with know what you're doing so that they can drip feed you with information. Keep a good record of who you've spoken to. It's easy to forget. And have a set amount of people that you want to contact every day. 5 or 10 people. Depends. 1, how busy you are. 2, how quickly you want your business to grow. And remember, it's your business, so it's your growth. It's not people. You don't want people to make their minds up quicker. The responsibility is on you to contact more people. You don't need that answer quickly. You just need to contact more people so you get the answers. But take a note of who you've sent information to, whether they've watched the video, when they're going to watch it. Have you sent any stories to them? And if you're sending stories to people, and there's loads on Facebook, so easy to come by, then what you might want to do is, if you see the odd story, I don't mean fire a story at them every day. You'll lose friends that way, you won't gain them. So if you see stories out there that are about bank managers, then keep a hold of them, take a note of them, put them into your web file, so that if you get somebody like that, you think, oh, look, that's the same background as the girl I'm speaking to. Look, here you are. Now blank out the name of the story, the person who's given you the story or whose story you've copied. Because the last thing you want to do is for Anne to contact a girl she knows, maybe not overly well, but she knows this person, shows them my story with my name on it. So what happens next is the person that I'm speaking to thinks, well, just get in touch with her and see if it's right enough. No, you want the person to keep talking to you. So let them see the stories, but don't always give them all of the information, just keep in the first name. If someone isn't really interested at that time or wants some time, get them into your shop. That keeps you in touch. And then keep in touch in a gentle way, showing them non-clean easy messages, so that your clean easy messages will be well received. Then let's go on to the status updates in the group posts. Well, you can reach an awful lot of people with just one message. And we all like talking about the weather. So you might want to put out, oh, what a grey and miserable day. Thank goodness my office today is in front of the computer in my nice, warm, cosy home where coffee doesn't cost me anything. Quite simple. You know, that's, you know, it's just, and put smiley faces in it. Nothing more. You know, it's just keep it nice and simple. The other way I do it is when I am away, I take some pictures and I put them up. People love pictures. And most of the people who are on my Facebook, if they're not clean easy, they're in my shop. And I found when Jim and I were away, in a motorhome that when I put the message up, there was lots of people that I don't really know that well asking me where I was, what are you doing today? Now, I was posting in the shop at the same time. So, you know, but you can reach a lot of people with just one message, but just keep it nice and simple. Just curious. Do you know anyone that might be interested in making some money from Facebook part-time? And put your check. Ask your friends to post it on the timeline. Now, if you ask people to share, you will have friends that will. I was really shocked and amazed when half a dozen of my friends shared my post. I was absolutely taken aback because I'm not always one of those people that shares posts. I do if it's kind of non-committal, but I tend not to fire in there with all guns blazing. So I generally think that most of the people I know is probably like me, but you see, you're wrong. I was wrong. But keep it interactive. Remember to respond to everyone. Someone once made a comment to me about they put posts up and they didn't seem to get much reaction to them. And I did think about it for a wee while, and I discovered that the reason they weren't getting any reaction to their posts, even when they were just putting up a comment, is because they never responded to anybody else's posts. So if you don't respond to people's posts, they are not going to respond to yours. You do have to give to get, just the way it is. Now, generating leads from your selling groups, just the same as doing it on your own, on your own page. Same wording, and here was what Lynn put up, and did get good leads from it, and got someone into a business from it. Group posts. Now we're talking external groups here. So, just curious, would anyone like to earn, do you know anyone that might like to earn some extra cash advertising some of this stuff on Facebook? Or just making money from Facebook, interested in making some income from home. It's use the wording that's simple, and if you post with a check, then that makes sure that you're going to be able to let them see what they're doing. Respond to every like. Hi Joe Blogs, thanks for the like. If you'd like any more information, please message me or leave a comment below. I don't always ask for comments below. I tend to like the message. If it's a question for someone you know, one of the reasons I like them to message me is, one, I'm not spamming people, and two, a lot of the admins on a page don't like posts that go on and on forever. They prefer you to, so that everyone gets their shot at being at the top of the page. If it's a question, thanks for asking, Jean. I'll message you with information, take it to a private message. If someone else wants the same information, then they'll ask you. They will ask you. Sponsoring an external groups, this is your cold market. What type of group are you looking for? Any group. It doesn't matter. I don't always check and see if they allow business adverts before I try to join. What I do is once they let me join, I'll then check. I then have Excel pages and I allocate it either to a product one or a business post. That way I'm not annoying, well, I do probably annoy admins, but I try not to. It's not the object of the exercise. How do you find them? Nice and simple. Go to facebook.com /groups and you'll find them there. But remember to space yourself out. Add 5 at a time, 5 or 6, then go on, add another 5 or 6. Do be careful because if if you add too many posts or too many groups at the same time, I notice that they go into the flagged posts, which means that if they're in the flagged posts, you're not going to get, a lot of admins will delete flagged posts. They won't add them to the group. So you don't want to go in there either. Build up slowly. Build up your Facebook profile slowly so that you're doing everything consistently on a daily basis. 5 or 6 groups, then do something else. 20 groups, do something else. Next week, do 30 or 40 groups. Don't ever add any more than 5 or 6 groups, though, because it still comes up. It doesn't matter how good your activity is. It doesn't like you adding lots of groups. Why? I don't know. Do them in the morning, do them at night. You can try them midday. I don't know. Do discussion posts. Keep it simple. Remember, we've already covered the wording. 2 discussion posts, 60 groups a day. And then use Marketplace, 2 or 3 posts on 20 groups. You have to change it every time you've done 20 because it doesn't like you reposting exactly the same thing on the next 20. So you're going to have a minimum of 3 ads every day, plus your 2 discussion posts. I get 50 posts out my discussion post, and then change a border, change a word, or just change something so that you keep Facebook on its toes. And use a planner and a tracker so that you know what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it. So how do you generate the groups? Well, we've covered that, to be fair. And what do you say? Exactly the same as you say in your own group. Facts tell, stories sell. Just curious. Do you know anyone that might be interested in making money from Facebook part-time? Would an extra £400 a month help to pay your mortgage or bills? Anyone looking for some part-time work from home? Anyone use Facebook and want to make some money when you're on there? And again, space it out to use 10 to 20 groups in Tikaban. Now, if you see other ads on Facebook and you think, oh, I like that ad, copy it, but then change it a wee bit. No one minds you copying their ads, but just make a wee bit of a difference. Here they are, though. If you're going to reply to the comments and the likes on your ads, if it's a like, it bumps it up. Sometimes if you get a like within 5 minutes of doing your post and there's only maybe 1,200 people on that group, I don't always respond right away. I might respond, if it's late at night, I'll respond the next morning because then it bumps it up again. Thanks, Joe Blogs. Pleased you liked my post. And tag them. If you or one of your friends would like information, please message me. If they ask a question, reply. Hi Joe Blogs, thanks for your question. Can you message me? And I'll explain how it works. Always take it off the page. As I said, admins don't want lots and lots and lots of comments against, unless you're on a UK mums work from home page. But admins don't always want their pages clogged up with loads of comments. And you'll see a message box. Here it is here. Lynn took a wee view of it. There you are. There's your message box. Click on it. It says message. Yeah, they've clicked on message seller. You've got a wee message box, yes, back, and you can reply. Here it is at the foot of the page. Keep your eyes open though. You never, if someone says to you, well, I can't afford a product, or say to them, I hope you don't mind me asking, but would you be interested in making some money from Facebook? Can I give you some information? Let me have a look at it. Someone likes a lot of the products. Again, tag them. You really like the products. I notice you really like the products. Have you ever thought about making some money from selling those products? Just the same as I do. Keep it nice and friendly. If there's online sellers, of which there are loads and loads of online sellers, hope you don't mind me asking, I notice you're selling online. Do you know if any of your friends would be interested in making money from Facebook? I quite often will add to that. Our products are sourced, so we don't have to source them. Keep posting in your groups. Don't spam the groups. Have enough groups there. You want a minimum of 250 groups so that you can rotate them. But don't miss an opportunity either. You want to speak to everybody about it. If you see somebody on there, and I have to say, and I don't know if it's only my thoughts, pardon me, my opinion on UK work from home, UK mums work from home. If you see a post on there, someone saying, I'm looking for an online opportunity, don't look for don't look for everything. Oh, I'll respond to all of those. You could spend your life responding to them and maybe not get a great deal in return. I'm never entirely sure if someone, for example, someone responded to me the other day, said they were thinking about it. What did I do? Could they join my shop? I said yes. And a couple of hours later, I saw advertising other network. So be careful. Sometimes people want to promote their own networks, not really interested in yours. So don't spend loads and loads of time. Other ways to grow your group, because there is more to life than online. Catalogue slips, and the catalogues are doing really well. I noticed that people who were never going to do catalogues are out there doing catalogues. Not in our group, we've always promoted catalogues, but people who were never going to do them. So if you are doing catalogues, make sure you've got callback slips, flyers, thank you for your order slips, business cards. Business cards are a must. You can do so much with them. Invite your online customers to invite their friends. Collect email addresses from your catalogue customers and see if you can add them to the shop. The other thing is, with the orders, the way things are just now, if you're like me and you always order and deliver your products on a Thursday, if I don't arrive on a Thursday, I get 25 customers phoning me to find out if I'm ill, if I haven't managed to get hold of them. So Messenger's a wonderful thing. You can send them a wee message quicker than a phone call. But so get them onto your shop. Send a text and an email to all the customers that you have the details for. Put it on your prospecting emails. I have a website, as does Kate. Stick on your website. Always do that. You should have that at the bottom. I've got that at the bottom of all my emails. Do it as a signature. And anybody who says no to the business is a potential customer. To be fair, I'll lead quite often. Thank you for your message. Here's a link to the video. If you want to have a look at the products, here's a link to my shop. So I quite often have them on there before I know if they're going to be interested in the business or not. When you're delivering your products, put a card in, let people know that you are looking for other people. Nothing worse than going to somebody's door and saying, oh, I recently joined, so I won't need a catalogue anymore, as you stand with the steam coming out your ears on the doorstep. So put the cards in when you're delivering. Let them know that you want people in your area, and even if they're your customers, you want them. Be consistent, be persistent. Don't do fast and blast. Don't do nothing for a week, feel guilty, and then do it all in one day. No worky, I'm afraid, no worky. So be consistent and be persistent. Success is a few simple disciplines, practiced daily, accumulated over a period of time, from the late, great Jim Rohn. And of course, the compound effect. Reaching your goals is achieved by the daily effort you put into what you do, not by some magic formula, new miracle product, or undiscovered internet business. I always think it's a real shame when somebody says, we've got a great new business, it's just come into the UK, and you think, what a shame. We've got a history of 94 years. We've got a system. We've got a range of products that is second to none. They have an unknown range. They have no history. They have no checks to show. They have no money to show. What a shame. And every big success is made up of little successes, each building on the previous and compounding over time. How do you think that Lynn, Gavin Scott, Jackie White, anybody you like to name, has got a big business? Their big business is made up of people like us who have smaller businesses. Our smaller businesses is made up of people who have smaller businesses. Now here we are about the donkey in the well. And we've all heard the story, but this is about consistency and persistency and not giving up. One day there was a donkey in the field. It was a wee bit of a nosy donkey, and it went to have a wee look in the well. Fell in, and I'm keeping it short, fell in head first. The farmer saw what had happened, and he brought all his friends up to the well to see if they could help. The donkey was jumping as high inside that well as he possibly could, but just could not get a hold on the top of the well because the sides were slippery and they didn't have any bits that he could cling on to. So the farmer, because sometimes farmers are quite pragmatic people, the farmer decided that he was quite an old donkey anyway, so he would just put him out of his misery and not let him starve to death. So he would fill the well in. So all the friends started digging and chucking earth down the well. At first the donkey got it and cried a few tears and thought, oh dear, my goodness, what are they doing to me? Then the donkey had another idea. He shook the earth off himself. He stood on the top of it, trampled it down, and every time another forkful came down that well, he stood in it, trampled on it, and got a bit higher. Now, as time went on and the farmer's having a look over the top of the well to see whether or not his ploy is working, he sees that the donkey's getting closer and closer to the top of the well. So they kept filling that well in. The donkey kept shaking himself, stopped crying, and kept going. I thought I had a photograph of the donkey in the field. The moral of the story, be consistent, be persistent, don't give up, and just get on. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry that I didn't notice it was 9 before I started, and I kept you going. Oh. And I'll do the stop share. Stop share, okay. Right, and unmute, oh yeah.